Political analyst Laura Washington is here.
Yeah, and she's here to help us dive deeper into some of the key races that are happening today in Illinois' primary election. Let's start by talking about voter turnout. It's lower this year than it has been in years past.
Definitely a lot lower, and that's kind of interesting because that Bring Chicago Home item that's on the ballot, the referendum, I think has gotten a lot of people energized and a lot of people are talking, but it doesn't seem to be getting people excited enough to come out to the polls. And you also have the problem at the top of the ticket, you have the presidential candidates, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. They've already clinched their nominations. So there's not any reason to turn out. And most voters often turn out because of the presidential races, and there's nothing happening at the top.
Yeah, there's not a lot of excitement around this.
Yeah, and I think voters are coming to this very late too. And when I talk to voters, they're only in the last week or two have they become even aware of the, they know there's an election, but they haven't really focused on the candidates.
Yeah, what impact can that have? I mean, could this be advantageous in some way?
I think you're going to see some surprises tonight because the candidates that are going to have the biggest advantages are the ones who have the operations, who have the feet on the ground, who have organizations. And so that's a good sign for something like Bring Chicago Home because they have the CTU and a lot of progressive activists and organizations behind them. They're going to get their votes out. If you don't have that in a low turnout like this, it's very difficult to win.
What are some of the key congressional races you're tracking?
Well, the 7th Congressional District is a big one. There's not much competition in the Chicago area, but that's one. Congressional races are real hard to lose for incumbents. Danny Davis has been a long time incumbent there, 28 years. He's got 4 challengers, which is very unusual. I think this is probably the toughest race he's going to run in his congressional career. He has his 2 leading challenges. Keena Collins has run against him twice before and done fairly well. And Melissa Conyer-Irvin has fairly high name recognition. She's a city treasurer. Yeah. So he's got some formidable opposition, but he also has the party solidly behind him, all the way from J.B. Pritzker to Tony Preckwinkle to a lot of the other leadership. Jesse White, the retired state official, all of them are behind him, and so that he's really pulling out all the stops to make sure that he gets the word out. Yeah.
Want to circle back to Bring Chicago Home. For anybody who hasn't heard about it, doesn't know what it is, what is this referendum?
It's a referendum. It's at the end of the ballot, and that's going to be interesting to see if people could all get all the way down there. Yeah. And it would raise, on real estate transactions, it would raise taxes for anyone that buys a piece of property that costs over $1 million, and lower taxes for people who buy property under that. The money would go into a fund to support the homelessness.
They call it the Millionaires Tax. Is that accurate? Because I mean, let's think about the types of buildings that are sold for $1 million. It's not just individual homes.
No, it's not. They call it the mansion tax too, and that's also a misnomer. It's for anybody that buys property over $1 million. That could be apartment buildings, so it could be someone who's making their income off of rental apartments. It could be a single-family home. It could be an office building,
a restaurant.
So the opponents are arguing that this is going to hurt the economic prospects in Chicago, particularly at a time we're starting to come out of the pandemic, when there's been so much challenges, especially the downtown property owners. You're just putting another onus on them.
Yeah. And then the increased cost would trickle down then to the average person.
I'm going to raise your rent if I have an apartment building and I have to and I have to pay this tax. It's going to make a difference in terms of what your rent's going to be.
Do we know? And I know you just mentioned it. Do you know how it's looking? I mean, does it look like this is?
You know, I haven't seen any polls, but I think again, Bring Chicago Home has the momentum. They have the people and they have the will to get this passed. You know, there was a lot of court challenges along the way, and that created a lot of confusion. And I think that the opponents of this, mainly the building owners, felt that they would have their best shot in court if they could get this thing taken off the ballot, and that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. Is it binding, by the way?
It's binding, but then it has to go to the city council. The city council has to approve an ordinance that would actually put it into effect. And when they get to that point, there'll be more specifics about how it would work and where the money would go.
And there might be also legal challenges as well.
There might be, and I imagine that the opponents are also going to work real hard to lobby the city council against supporting this. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we gotta go. We didn't even get to the Cook County State's Attorney's race.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
There's a lot to talk about here.
Yeah,
I mean, can we keep going for a second, Tony? Okay, yeah. Let's touch on the state's attorney's race real fast.
Very important race.
Incredibly.
That's all about the criminal justice system. Everyone's concerned about crime in the city. You have two leading candidates, Clayton Harris, who is a law professor or a public policy professor at the University of Chicago. He's got some legal experience, but most of his experience is on the management side. Eileen O'Neill Burke has been a judge at 2 different levels, and she's also worked extensively in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. So you have 2 people that come with different backgrounds that are both reasonable. Clayton Harris is saying he's likely to keep Kim Foxx's current incumbent's policies in place, the criminal justice reform that she has started. Burke is saying that she wants to go tougher on crime, that she feels like there hasn't been enough accountability and that people are really worried about crime. So that's sort of the landscape there.
And poll numbers on that, have we seen anything recently?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, there was a poll that had the neck and neck, but mostly undecided. That race has been very volatile, and as you've probably seen the commercials, there's been a lot of money spent on campaign commercials.
Exactly it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, we'll see how that goes. Laura Washington, always good to have you. Wish we could talk the whole half hour.
Right?
We'll talk again tomorrow.
Yep, we'll see you then.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.